Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we are discussing about instance balancer in Process Lasso. So to find instance balancer, let's go to options menu, CPU, and then instance balancer. So the instance balancer feature spreads the CPU across a running process instances of either the same or multiple applications. For example, if there are 4 instances of Notepad running on an 8-core system, each might get 2 CPU cores depending on the rule. And as the instance count of the Notepad changes, the number of CPU cores allocated to each instance will also be adjusted. And if there are more instances than allocated CPU cores, instances are stacked in a round-robin manner. And when the instant count of managed applications changed by new process creation or termination, a rebalance will occur. So to create a rule, we need to specify the process match in here. For example, we will say that all of these childs of Firefox.exe should be matched to this rule. Now we have 2 types of algorithms for instance balancer. The way we want instance balancer to spread the CPU cores on the process. The first one is dynamic core count or spread evenly, and that means to distribute CPU cores evenly across matching process instances, dynamically adjusting the new instances run or terminate. And we also have the fixed core count, which assigns a fixed number of CPUs to each matching process instance. So if we click on fixed core count, then we can specify the core per instance. And this is the number of CPU cores that will be assigned to each running instance that will match the rule. For example, we want to say 2. Let's go to the advanced option and let's see the reserved cores. So the reserved core is the number of logical CPU cores per processor group to exclude from the set available to instances matching this rule. Users can use this to reserve CPU cores for other system activity. However, we usually leave this value to 0. And then we have the CPU use threshold, which is the minimum percent CPU users required before a matching process is included in the set, and instance balance will occur according to the rule. This is useful if you want to exclude instances that aren't using matched CPU, and this value can be 0 if you don't want a minimum threshold. And here the disable HT/SMT checkbox. When it's checked, hyperthreading or SMT will be disabled for balanced process instances. That means that when it's checked, physical CPU cores will be selected instead of logical CPU cores. And you should note that when this feature is used with the fixed core count and or the reserved cores, the number of CPU cores specified for those options is still in logical units. So 2 will equal to 1 assigned physical CPU. And then we can add the rule in here. And finally, we can click OK and the rule will be applied for instance balancer. And that's it for this episode. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to see you in the coming episodes. Stay tuned.